Hello and welcome everyone, and I wanted today to go through one of the stages of the Shiny Diancie Masterwork Research, because on my capture video there were lots of you asking how on earth did you get through the souvenirs, and unless you're particularly good at reading things on Reddit, you may be unaware that there is actually a method that can guarantee souvenirs from your buddies. However, there is a strategy, and I'm not gonna lie, it confused the hell out of me as well. Thank goodness for Marta, my fiance, who actually managed to crack it and fix it for myself to get my capture done and dusted. How this is gonna begin is using a buddy that is a great buddy. That's 2 hearts. As you can see, my 100% Peroni, my Shundo D-Max Regice, is currently a 2nd hearted buddy. You need to wait, and I will pause it here. This stage could take a while. This was what was confusing me initially. You have to wait for the great buddy. That is what's called, when you search up in your Pokemon storage, a buddy 3. Bit of confusing tagging things going on because buddy 3 is a 2-hearted buddy, but then buddy 4 is an ultra buddy, which is 3 hearts, and buddy 5 is best buddy, that's 4 hearts. So gloss on over that. The first part of getting this method going is acquiring a gift, a present. They look the same as a souvenir because they come in the same green sort of package bag, but great buddies can only bring a gift of items, and that's like revives, berries, potions, whatever. But you must wait for that buddy to come through with that gift bag, and this could take 24 to 48 hours. There is a cooldown period. Every so often, buddies that have access to gifts and souvenirs will cycle on through and use that cooldown period. There's a way to kind of lock it so that future presents, which is what we're going to go over very shortly, will all be souvenirs, which is random items like a tropical flower or a torn ticket or God knows whatever they start to bring you as buddies. Initially, I got very confused by this feature, so we'll continue on with this. Got a 3rd heart, so we got some revives from our Regice. Chuck a berry at it, so that is technically our buddy's gift. That is the item from the great buddy that has been acquired. I did do this at 23 minutes past midnight earlier this week. Now what you want to do is head down to the buddy menu and manually swap your buddy. I'm not 100% sure if, and I will pause it again on this screenshot of all of my buddy 4s. Fantastic choice, Milo. So I found that when I was switching from the buddy menu off of your profile, which is your buddy history, that this method wasn't working. Obviously, I don't quite know if that plays a massive factor in it, but I found it worked when you switched from the actual buddy itself, as you saw in that video. I'll play it again here. Go to your buddy by clicking on it, go down to the bottom, manually swap your buddy, and then you're gonna search in your Pokemon storage for buddy 4. And the reason that you do this is buddy 4s and buddy 5s, which are ultra and best buddies, can bring you souvenirs. The reason you go for your great buddy first, which is a 2-hearted buddy, that will lock items to being a souvenir, because the cooldown period does include both versions of that little satchel that you get. Because you have opened an item gift, all of your buddy 4s and buddy 5 Pokemon that you swap in won't have the item bag potential. They will be guaranteed to be souvenirs. I hope that makes sense. So what we're going to do now is go through some of my buddy 4s, and I have gone through and claimed all 20. So now we're swapping into our Goku Bad Ring, Swim Ring Psyduck, and you may have to give it a couple of minutes. So you get that buddy in, wait and see if it brings you a gift. If it doesn't, immediately go to the buddy and you can drop a berry on it, which is I believe what we're going to do right now. So just give it a berry and wait a couple of minutes. Maybe it requires some patience. When I was doing my rounds to actually get the buddy hearts and the souvenirs sorted for my Diancie, I had a D-Max Moltres that took a solid 6 minutes of waiting for the gift to appear. But now we've dropped it, it's on the map as you can see, and boom, exclamation mark means that that bag there is a souvenir. Not going to be an item, it's going to be a souvenir, which is what you need. Do not open it, because this is what we mean about chaining. You want to go back to the swap buddy menu, search up your buddy 4s again, and click another one. Make a mental note or write down somewhere which Pokemon you have swapped in. So now we've gone for the troublesome D-Max Moltres Hundo, and I can't remember if this one took a little while as well, but waiting on the map there, as you can see with my rocket balloon floating around. No sign of a souvenir right now, so we're going to go and hit the throw a berry on it. Boom, golden raz for a orange bird, and it's also helping my weekly quests. Sometimes you do have to be careful. Some Pokemon are very eager to give you a souvenir compared to others. I've had circumstances where I've clicked the buddy to go in and give it a berry, and suddenly the souvenirs appeared. So just be careful you don't open these souvenirs, because you're activating what is a 24-hour window to chain up your souvenirs. And that's because the window for resetting for the item bag potential from your other buddies is about a 24-hour period. You can see now we're switching into our third one, and it should chain itself up. But make note, make a timestamp of when you actually start this progress. And I'd recommend starting it at some point in the evening, because when you do that, you can swap your buddy 20 times in one day. If you do this progress, you can see we had a tropical flower from this Naganadel. Waiting to see if this one will give us a souvenir. It won't, so we're gonna have to throw a berry on it. If you make a note of which Pokemon you do this with, actually make a note of physically which buddies you've swapped in and have waiting with souvenirs. And as we claim our 9th buddy heart on the Naganadel, fantastic. So we're gonna exit that menu, having given it the berry, and immediately exclamation mark. So that now has a souvenir primed and ready as an Ultra Buddy. While we switch into another Ultra Buddy, which is going to be our Detective Hat Raichu, I think, as a hundo, you want to make note, as I've said, of the Pokemon you do the buddy swaps with, and make sure you don't open the souvenirs. Obviously, make sure that you do your buddy swaps. You need to get 30 souvenirs for the Masterwork Diancie Special Research. You can actually swap 20 buddies per day. So theoretically, you could do this over the course of 2 days to get all of your buddy Pokemon that you can get souvenirs from in the 24-hour period to chain up to get 30 souvenirs primed. Then you'll need another day and a half to open them all. The reason being, of course, if you have the first day and you've swapped 20 buddies, that'll give you 20 souvenirs. And if you do the next 10 to get up to 30, then you can open 10 already and then open the remaining 20 another day later. This is how people have skipped through this whole process and done it inside of like 3 days. We gave our buddy a raspberry, and as you can see, it's not quite popped up with a souvenir just yet. You can see the tropical flower was gifted to us on the 5th of May. There you go, 5th of May, and a torn ticket and a few other bits and pieces, and boom, there we go. Patience is going to be needed because, as I said, some of these buddy Pokemon, for whatever reason, like to lag and slow down and not present you with a souvenir immediately, shall we say. I did go through and do a full 20 just to make sure I could keep the chain going. I'm going to say it again, make sure you remember which Pokemon you swapped into the souvenirs. The good thing is you'll have them in your buddy history. Once you've got your 30 Ultra and best buddies with your souvenirs primed, you can obviously just go ahead and open them from the buddy menu. It doesn't necessarily even matter. You can claim them all, and that will mean that you've basically done it. So yeah, I hope this explanation sort of is a bit more clear than perhaps some other bits and pieces of content on YouTube and on Reddit as well, because when I visibly saw it in that format and Marta explained cohesively, not in Reddit text, how it worked, when it was explained that way to me, I was able to actually make it work. So I'm going to keep the screen recording going just so you can kind of see the process. So the first thing is patience. Get a stage 2 buddy, what is called a buddy 3 in the storage. That's a great buddy, 2 buddy hearts successfully acquired. This Pokemon is able to acquire items in the little green satchel for you. You want to put one of those as your buddy and just roll with it. Walk with it, get the whatever. You have to wait 24 to 48 hours for it to register getting an item satchel as a reward for you. Do not progress with this whole system unless you have got that great buddy with the item satchel. Once you've acquired it, you can go ahead and open it. Open the Great Buddy's little gift. It will give you berries, revives, or God knows what. That's absolutely fine. Then, from that point onwards, do not open any more little green packages that come from your buddies when you do the switching, because you want to chain the souvenirs up. Switch to a Buddy 4, which is an Ultra Buddy, 3 hearts, or switch to a Buddy 5, that's 4 hearts for your best buddies. Both of these will work because they both have access to the souvenirs to be brought to you. Bring in your Buddy 4 or 5, then wait for that Pokemon to bring you a souvenir, and it will be a guaranteed satchel souvenir. When you have this, and yet again, it may take some time, feel free to drop a berry on it, get it onto the map, wait a couple of minutes. If it's not immediate, don't panic, it will come through. Once it has the souvenir ready to present to you, do not open that souvenir package whatsoever. You want to then immediately scroll down to swap buddy and repeat the process. And repeat this process until you have gone through all your buddy swaps for 1 day and then another 10 for a following day. That means that you can basically chain up over the course of sort of a 24-hour period. Again, I'd say start in an evening, start in the evening, swap your buddies, and then you can progress the day after. Make a mental note of when you start this whole chaining process. It will come in very handy later down the road. You don't want to miss the opportunity to keep the chain going. Otherwise, you will have to reset with the Great Buddy and begin the process again. The way that I managed to do it, I was able to swap my buddy 20 times to get 20 souvenirs primed, wait for the midnight to come through, and then I could switch in another 10 to get 30 souvenirs primed, and then I was actually able to open 10 souvenirs to claim on the second day, and then open the remaining 20. So in terms of numbers, the way to think of it is you're doing it in kind of 3 batches. So day 1, you're doing 20 souvenirs, priming 20 souvenirs. Day 2 is you are priming 10 more souvenirs and then opening 10 souvenirs. And then on the third day, you are opening another 20 souvenirs. So it's 20, 10, 10, 20. Maybe that will make sense to some of you. It does in my head. Anywho, I really do hope that this helps a lot of you who are stuck on that particular stage of the Shiny Diancie Masterwork Research, because I tell you, you're not alone. It was grinding my gears big time, waiting for the souvenirs to come on through. It was painful. If this is useful for you, share it around the Pokemon Go community, your friends, your communities or whatever, because you can help a bunch of people. So I will say, if you found this video helpful, please make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and stick around for plenty more Pokemon Go content. And it's going to be a bit rudimentary, but I will say a massive thanks to my wonderful Patreon squad supporters who are the backbone of keeping this whole channel as a possibility to keep rocking and rolling into the future. Thank you very much to each and every one of you for your support, and all of you guys who are watching the channel, interacting with it, liking, commenting and subscribing. I really do appreciate you all. And if you like what you see, there's plenty of other content available in front of my face right here. Check out when we got our Shiny Diancie if you haven't seen it, because we got quite lucky on that one. Not just with the Shundo Latios. I will say though, until the next time peeps, do take care.